was a tale of two halves. The Knicks came out. They play against a scrappy Orlando Magic team that has a bunch of guys who are willing to step in when called upon. They have injuries to their two best players, arguably their third or fourth best player, and they continue to beat teams like the Celtics. They continue to scrap and play defense. Mosley is a good coach. He's got them going. And the Knicks come out in the first half, and it's a tight game. Really, through about halfway through that third quarter, it was still continued to be a tight game. And then about halfway through the third quarter, Brunson really started to get it going. Josh Hart had one of his best offensive outputs of the season, and the Knicks were able to cruise in the fourth quarter 108-85 and get a win against, like I said, a very scrappy Magic team. You gotta give them credit over there for what they're doing. Jamal Mosley, he's doing a great job. That team is continuing to fight, and when they start to get the likes of Banchero and both of the Wagner brothers back, well, one of them won't be back this year. His knee is all tore up. He's done. But the best one, Franz, when he gets back and Banchero get back, they both have obliques, which is weird. Oblique is a weird, you hear that in baseball a lot, but you don't hear that too often in basketball. But they both have obliques. They will be back this season, and that team is going to be dangerous. That team kind of reminds me of us last year, the way that they fight and they play defense. But Brunson, as we've seen, he was able to figure them out. Brunson had a very good offensive game, 26 points, 9 dimes on top of that, especially early in the game. He was really just going out of his way to facilitate, to get guys going. Bridges didn't really have it going in the first half, but in the second half, he really stepped up. He ends up being 6 of 12, 17 points. He's always going to mix in, 2 steals, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. But I thought that Bridges did have a stretch there, especially late in the third quarter. He's, hitting runners off the glass. He's getting all the way to the rim. I thought Bridges played pretty well when the jump shot wasn't necessarily falling like it was on Christmas Day against Wemby. Hey, if you're in the chat, definitely comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Love interacting with people in the chat. It's what really makes this fun. And we've had a ton of fun on the He Did This To Me network thus far. Me and my pops, we do a weekly show. We talk Knicks, Mets, Jets, and we also talk about the biggest sports stories of the day. And then I do Nick on Knicks after every Knicks game. I'm doing this one today. There's not going to be a Nick on Knicks after the next Wizards game that occurs later on today, but I will be doing a week recap tomorrow. And we have a special guest. So definitely something that you want to check out. We're going to start trying to do those on Sundays. I don't know. There might be new guests. I might like one guest so much that we do it with them every week. Who knows what it is? But at the end of the day, we're going to figure it out. Just like Tom Thibodeau and this Knicks team is starting to figure it out. We are now 21-10. 21-10. Best start for a Tom Thibodeau Knicks team. And I think most of us, if we're being honest, would definitely go ahead and say at the beginning of the season that after the first 31 games, this is going to be your record. And that's not even knowing that we started 5-6. So 5-6, do the math. What is that? 20? It was a 16-4. Man, this team is starting to really get it figured out. And this is what a good team does against a depleted team, even when they come out and Jalen Suggs is on fire. He can't miss. He can't miss. And he's, he comes off of an 0 of 11 from 3 in the previous game, the night before. He hits his first 2 threes and a jump shot against us, and they're all tough shots. And you're like, come on, man, not with this guy. But he showed also his biggest deficiency, which is he plays like he's playing football, or he's like playing in the park in the Bronx somewhere. And, these NBA refs, they're not going to let you get away with that. And the Knicks and Jalen Brunson especially were able to limit his night because of his foul trouble. Suggs started off hot. He was playing really good defense. He just pushes it a little bit too far. And now you end up only playing 26 minutes. 27 points in 26 minutes. He had it going. And like I said, the D with him is always excellent. He's just got to learn how to not take it that extra step and be too aggressive where the ref is forced to blow the whistle. His fifth foul couldn't have been more silly. My man Just Nix is in the chat. Salute Just Nix. But yeah, man, Suggs, you're right about Suggs in his hair. Let it go, bro. Let it go. It's very thin at the top. He tries to hide it with the big headband. And yeah, Suggs, like my man Just Nick says, he needs to cut his hair off. He needs to let it go. It's over for that, bro. You need to rock the ball. That's what it is. Or you need to go to Turkey, talk to Bron about that program. But yeah, so far right now, man, that is not a good look for you, Suggs. Gotta go ahead and let it go, brother. Let it go. Shout out to my man Max 6A back in the day. He was rocking like an edge up right here in the front, and it just continued to thin as it went back. We used to call him top back chrome spinning. And I was the one that had to say it to him, like, brother, man, it's time, dog. It's time. Got his head shaved, never looked back, said it was one of the greatest decisions he's ever made. Just let it go, brother. But Suggs, you also got to let it go, this whole thing that you got with Brunson. Him and Brunson got something going on. You know, Brunson, especially if you watch the Roommates podcast, you know, Brunson's got a few guys, and they didn't name it, but it was clearly Alex Caruso they were talking about, that he just doesn't like him and loves when he cooks him. And if you remember, Brunson made him fall and then hit a step back three when he was on the Bulls. If it wasn't last season, it might have been the season before even. And Brunson was looking at the crowd like, he can't guard me. You know what I mean? So, hey, he's got little rivalries with guys, and it's probably those guys who try to get real physical with him. And Suggs is one of those guys. I was looking at this game and I say Brunson has had 2 bad shooting games in a row. He typically doesn't ever have 3. He doesn't usually even have 2. So I'm looking at this game like this could be a game that Brunson really gets off. But then I'm like, yo, but we also got Suggs to deal with, and he's a very good perimeter defender. And if you notice, when Brunson got the 5th foul on him, Suggs wasn't even the primary defender on Brunson. Brunson, I forget who was guarding him, but he lost him. He's getting towards the paint. Suggs tries to reach in, rakes him against the arms, and Brunson goes up and puts it in. And Brunson even motioned over towards the bench, like, get him out of here, when he picked up his 5th foul. So there's something there, I think, with him and Caruso. He don't like him. We've played them a lot in this early season. This is our 3rd game against them. We're 3-0. We win the season series. That's very important, because if we end up getting into a space where we're fighting with them for seeding, which I hope we're not. I think we're about to start pulling away. I think Boston needs to watch out. They're 2 games ahead. The Cavs, they've had a very easy schedule. That's about to flip. And the Knicks have had a very tough schedule. And clearly right now, we are the hottest team in the NBA. Winners of 6 straight. Fantastic month of December. And the biggest change has been Mikal Bridges. It's been Mikal Bridges and his ability to really get after it at the point of attack on defense. He had some great steals that led to a runaway layup for him in one instance, and just was playing that engaged type of defense. The way that he's navigating screens is something that has definitely changed. There's going to be a story that comes out at some point about like Bridges and Tibbs, or maybe somebody else on the staff, really going through the tape during that time where the Knicks only played 1 game in 8 days. Because it seems like since then, after that debacle where you had lots of people, including myself, questioning what is going on with Mikal Bridges. Why is this not the type of guy that we've seen before defensively? The shooting I always felt like would come around at some point, but I was really worried about the defense at one point, especially that the culmination of that was the Atlanta Hawks game. And then, since then, he's just doing a better job of not getting caught in the middle of screens, getting out hedging, using his length. He can, bother their shot from behind because he's so tall, he's so long. And he's been playing just much more active defense, more active hands. Anybody who watches the Knicks, it's clear to see. Bridges has stepped it up. He stepped it up. and you step it up on the D. And what do you know? All of a sudden, the shot starts falling. Now we're running more action for him. I love the fact that down in the stretch of that Spurs game, we made sure that we were getting the ball to Bridges up at the top, giving him room to work, having another ball creator, another person who can get a bucket for himself, especially in that mid range area outside of Brunson, is going to pay dividends for the Knicks for years to come, hopefully, at the ends of games. As the games get more tight, as we get into the playoffs, that's going to be very important. And when he can be an elite wing defender to pair with OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, the defense starts to get scary for these other teams. And you start having NBA basketball teams, especially when they're a little bit depleted and they can't really shoot, they score 85 points. And the Knicks score 108, which is well below their season average, but are able to cruise to a win. Brunson, no three-pointers in 3 games. I think that's Crime's dad is what we're going for with that username. That is interesting. You know, JB, he's 0 of 2 last night. I think he's been 0 of 5 at least in the 2 games prior. And he's, a 41% three-point shooter. So I'm going to say it's an anomaly. It'll get better. Brunson will start to stick his threes. Don't be surprised if he has a game where he's 6 of 8 or something like that. Brunson actually questionable for today's game against the Wizards with a calf. Hopefully that's no big deal. Hopefully he warms up and he plays. I would say if it's sore at all, especially second night of a back-to-back, we play the Wizards who only have 5 wins. We play them again in just a couple days. If it's sore at all, sit down, Brunson. I know Brunson never wants to sit, but if that's going to be the case, I just take it easy, my guy. You're the franchise captain. Man, good win for the Knicks. The first half, it kind of just felt like at some point the shots would start to fall and we would start to string together some possessions and the Magic would wilt because they're just not a very talented team. They're doing a fantastic job of playing through their injury woes thus far. Jamal Mosley he's clearly a very good coach. You don't get a team that loses their top guys like this and continues to fight and play and have this effort and play this way defensively without a good coach. So watch out for the Magic, man, for years to come. Paolo is like a top 10 guy at this point. Game is nice. Wagner is nice. And then his brother is, kind of a goon, but you need a few of those on your team. And he's got some skills too. He can shoot it. So Magic are going to be somebody to think about definitely in the future. But right now, it's the Knicks that look like real contenders in this league. They look like a team that, when you look at the offensive versatility, the amount of guys that can get it done on a given night. And then when you have the ultimate glue guy, Mr. Do Everything, the heart of the city, Josh Hart, man. What a game for him. He had that fantastic sequence at the end of the Spurs game where his offensive rebounds allowed the Knicks to waste the clock and waste the game away and get a dub. And then you see Josh Hart in this game, and he comes out with 23 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, does it all. Fantastic game by Josh Hart. The defense is there. It's always there. The offensive rebounding is always there. And this year, offensively, the three-point shot looks more confident and is going in with more regularity than it ever has. Josh Hart, man, he's really, really continued to improve his game and his spirit for the game and his fun attitude, I think, is vital on a team. What a fantastic move that was. Where's the Cam Reddish hive? Where are they? Cam Reddish in a pick? No, we can't give them up. We can't give up Cam Reddish for this guy, Josh Hart. He can't shoot. He's this, he's that. Come on, man. That's why you got to trust in Leon always. He don't miss. He don't miss. I'll be fair and I'll say this. Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, those were misses. But everything else, Brunson, too much money. Mikal Bridges, too many picks. Josh Hart, no, we love Cam Reddish. Karl Anthony Towns, oh, Julius and Dante, they're the heart of the team. He don't miss. Leon does not miss, man. Okay? So when he does something, shit. When he signed Sam Campaign, I'm like, man, come on. Listen, Campaign, he's been vital for us. He's helped. And Josh Hart was just another great game. Campaign, his minutes these last two games, when he comes in, if he don't get it going, he might be dancing and clapping on the sideline for the rest of the game. That's what we've seen in these last two games. And now Landry Shamet is coming back, and he's going to eat into Campaign's minutes. I'm hoping he eats into Josh Hart and not so much Josh Hart, but more so he eats into Mikal Bridges and OG's minutes the most, so he can get them down a little bit. But Cam, these last couple games comes out, doesn't get it going immediately, and then kind of gets nailed to the bench. And then Shamet comes in and he scores 7 points in like 11 minutes. Look good. Landry Shamet looked good. For sure, he looks like, a player that can definitely be getting rotational minutes. And with the way that Tom Thibodeau talks about him, with how the rotation looked in the preseason before he got injured, it seems like he is a guy that Tibbs trusts. And we need more of those, because the only criticism or the only thing that scares me about this Knicks team right now is just the minutes that we're asking out of our wings, especially Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges and OG. And mostly OG. That's really the guy whose minutes I want to get down. The other two, I kind of feel like they're Iron Men. Obviously, Mikal Bridges is the current Iron Man in the NBA, and he is also currently, in the month of December, one of the most impactful players in the NBA on both sides of the ball. And, yesterday was just a clean 17. You give us 41 when we needed it on Christmas Day in front of the national NBA audience, spoiling once again a superstar from another team coming into the Garden and having a all-time game. But Bridges was able to outduel him, especially down the stretch. And our Knicks get the dub, and now we get a win against a scrappy Orlando team, and the Knicks are now looking up at the Boston Celtics just 2 games ahead, and they are 21-10 on the season. They will be playing against the Washington Wizards at 7 Eastern. And then they have Sunday off, and then they play Washington again on Monday. Brunson's still listed as questionable. My guess is that they're probably going to try to see him warm up and how he feels with the calf. He didn't show any signs of having any sort of calf issue, so maybe he just woke up with it. But, hopefully Brunson's okay. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Calves make me nervous, but he'll be all right. Brunson's a warrior. 14 points the Knicks gave up to the Magic in the third quarter. 14 points. That's defense, man. Defense got turned up. They missed a lot of shots. And, once Brunson got that and one on Suggs, I think the Knicks went on a crazy run. I don't know the exact numbers after that. But, yeah, once Suggs got sent to the bench with the 5 fouls early in the third, it was a wrap. About halfway, midway through the third. I just thought that we did really, really well last night as far as just not letting this young team just get too crazy and, get to the point where they're up 8, 10, 12 or something like that. We made sure that we kept it close. And as we were able to keep it close, once we started to fire in all cylinders from the offensive end, and they were, just them. They are who they are at this point with the amount of injuries that they've had. And once you had to deal with that, and once, Suggs went out, then it's really tough. Now, you're missing your 4 best players for sure. So that's a tough one. Or at least your 3 best players and one of your best players. So Knicks do their thing. They get it done. We got quite a few people tuning in right now on YouTube, on X. If you are, hit me up in the comments. Talk to me. How do you feel about this Knicks team right now? How do you feel about the fact that, we could be contenders in the Eastern Conference? Is that true or is that cap? Are the Knicks right now a team that truly can deal with and possibly beat Boston in a 7-game series? What do you think? I think we have as good of a chance as anybody else. I think the Knicks can play in a lot different styles. I think that when you look at a team like Boston, they're a little bit one-dimensional with their drive and kick and their shooting of the three. Whereas if you look at the Knicks, they can play in a game like last night where we muck it up a little bit and the other team mucks it up a lot of bit, but the Knicks find out a way to be the best at that style of play. We know they can score. If they can hold NBA teams to 85 points and the defense can be top 3 in rating like it's been in the month of December, the league's got a problem. Because the offense is fantastic. It's extremely versatile. And the Knicks can win a game yesterday where they shoot only 15 threes. That's unheard of in today's NBA. Everybody shoots 20, 30 threes. A lot of people, when they talk about the Knicks, say, hey, we got to shoot at least 30 threes on a nightly basis. I know Tom Thibodeau says he wants us to get up to that number. But last night, the Knicks only shoot 15 threes. That's what the game dictated. That's what the flow of the game was. Nobody on the Knicks shot more than 4 threes, and that was Cat, and he hit 2 of those. To win a game by 23 points. I'm sorry, not by 23. Bad math. Yeah, I'm right. 23 points. Math not my strong suit, so I guess I wasn't too confident there. But yeah, to win a game by 23 points, that you only shoot 15 threes, that is not likely in today's NBA. To win a game where you only make 4 threes, nobody, if you say, hey, they made 4 threes tonight, they lost. Nah, they won by 23. That's different, man. That's this Knicks team showing the versatility that we have in the different ways that we can win. And we have a ton of players who can take over on a given night. We have 4 players that could give you 30 on a given night. OG, you're not going to really run it through him, but if he gets it going and things are going well, he's getting out in front, he's hitting threes, he's cutting back door, then he can give you 30. But then you also have Bridges, Cat, and Brunson, who can give you 30 whenever and can initiate the offense and can be, offensive just dynamos on a particular night. And not a lot of teams have that. And you pair that with the way that we play with that 5-out system, how we move the ball. And then you have a guy like Precious that you can bring off the bench and can just give you hustle play after hustle play. He's grabbing boards. He's putting it back up. I thought last night Precious had a real big impact on the game. Had 20 big minutes. Only has 6 points. But that's not really how you measure Precious and his impact. He has 6 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. I thought Precious had a very, very good game. Got an assist, steal, a block. Did have 3 turnovers. It's a few too many for how much he actually handles the ball. But Precious played well, man. Precious is continuing to round into form and be the type of, live body that we need off the bench that can really give us a little bit of length and really some defensive versatility. His ability to switch is fantastic. Deuce had, a game where once again we see Deuce go, what was he? Just 0 of 1 from 3. Deuce has been on a bit of a shooting slump with Brunson as well here recently. Deuce ends up going 1 of 4, only having 5 points. He did have 5 boards. Okay, Deuce, getting some boards, 3 assists. I thought Deuce had an okay game, not a huge impact, not the typical impact that you expect from Deuce, but, he didn't let go of the rope. It wasn't like when he got out there, it was like, damn, Deuce is really hurting his campaign with 7 minutes. Like I said, Landry Shamet played just over 10 minutes, and he had 7 points in his time. He was 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from behind the arc. I thought that he played really, really well. One of his 3 that he hit, I'm pretty sure, was Precious that assisted him that on kind of like a delayed break situation. And then Sims got him from some garbage time at the very end when Tibbs went ahead and finally got Towns out. I've read somewhere online, I haven't seen it myself, but it looked like Rick Brunson at one point was like, yo, can we get them out the game? About Hart and Cat and maybe Bridges. Tibbs is going to play his guys. You see a game last night. There was somebody, Houston was up by 15 or 17 late. against Minnesota. Minnesota came back and wins that game. So, as much as you want to say get these guys out, when that happens and we lose, ain't nobody going to be happy about that. So we trust in Tibbs over here. We trust in Leon. Hey, man, the channel, we really appreciate all the love that we've gotten recently. The channel, if you rock back in the day, especially from the East Coast, we rock FUBU. And it was for us, by us. And that's what this channel is, because, this is just real, true Knicks fans communicating and talking about our team. Been a lot of good times recently. That's the most fun, but we'll be here for the bad times too. The Knicks have done a great job recently in a couple of these games where they play against these young physical teams and they're meeting their physicality. I really think that there was a huge, huge turning point when we were playing against the Atlanta and we lost that game, and the way we lost and the way that the fans responded and, the way that the the players talked in the post game, I just think they looked themselves in the mirror a little bit. And since then, we've come out with just a little bit more of an attention to detail. My man, Crime's dad, thoughts on Knicks Wizards the next two games, even without Brunson injury. Think no worries. Listen, the Knicks should absolutely dog walk the Wizards. It shouldn't be close, but this is the NBA. Teams get up to play against the Knicks. Even when it's not coming to the Garden, teams do get up to play against the Knicks. It's just it's a fact of life. If you've watched this team your whole life like I have, it couldn't be more clear. So you got to take care of business. What you want to do is you want to take care of business early, kill their spirit, and then cruise and have a bum night where we can, just let guys, at the end of the bench, the Tyler Koleks, the Bacome Dadiers, the Huck Porties of the world, they can get in. And you are right, Crimes Dad. They have been playing some teams close here recently. It's not really translating to wins, but that does build a little bit of confidence. And with a team like the Knicks that are coming in rolling, you just hope that they don't get complacent. And it's as much as you want to say like, oh, Tom Thibodeau coach team and, Brunson and his mindset, they are still human beings. And they play a lot of basketball games. They played one last night, and now we got to go out. We got to play one tonight, and it's against a team that's not so great. Don't let them get off early, get out in front, and start feeling good about themselves. And now they're hitting shots they don't typically hit. And it's an uphill battle. And now you make it either a tough night and a gutty win, or you just make it a shitty loss. Hopefully the Knicks can avoid that tonight. I think they will. I think right now we're playing with great attention to detail. And I think that last night we had a very bad shooting night. So I just law of averages says that tonight that'll get turned around. And if it does, if you shoot the ball well against this team and we play just just a modicum of defense, then we'll win. We know that. It's all about the D with the Knicks. The Knicks play D, they're going to win most nights, because the offense will be there. And really, these last two games against San Antonio and against the Magic have not been our best offensive, outputs. So look for the Knicks to come out and, score 130, 140 tonight. I really, really think so. Hopefully Brunson can play. Like I said, if it's sore, sit down. Sit down, captain, please. We need you. You're a part of the big picture. And the big picture for the Knicks this year is hopefully getting to a point where we can end with a championship. And we can go down the canon of heroes and have a ticker tick parade in New York City that people have waited for decades. It's a proud team. It's a proud city. And it is finally starting to feel like the Knicks are building something here that sustainably can be in the conversation. And as soon as this year could be a real contender. Hey, man, we shall see. Just here in about 2.5 hours, it will be the tip against the Washington Wizards. Will the Knicks take care of business? I think so. I surely hope so. And you can come catch me tomorrow for the recap of the week. Special guest. Yo, hold up real quick. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you what I got on right now. Let me go ahead and hop over here and get this off real quick. Your boy, Monroe Township, New Jersey, repping the high school. Pops got me this For Christmas, a great gift from the team store. Damn sure wasn't a team store when I was a kid. But yeah, man, Monroe Township. Like my man Carl Anthony Towns said, Central Jersey is real. It is real. And the Knicks are real. They're a real problem for the entire NBA this year. And we just got to keep it going, keep getting better. 6 straight. Let's go ahead and make it 8. Take these 2 against the Wizards. It's your boy Nick on Knicks.